Hello friends, now the next topic in operational amplifier is 555 timer and its applications. It is a very important topic in operational amplifier. You have a lot of questions in different exam, maybe in GATE, in engineering services, in civil services, in university exams and so on. So you should go through this topic very sincerely and of course seriously. So let us see the functional block diagram of 555 timer. Remember, 555 timer is an integrated circuit. It is a single chip of 8 pins. So it has got 8 pins, single integrated circuit. This is the block diagram of a 555 timer, where we have two comparators, comparator 1 and comparator 2. We have a flip-flop, we have an PNP transistor, we have one NPN transistor, we have output stage inverter. This is basically a power amplifier. It amplifies the level of the signal, right? It is a power amplifier, and we have a combination of 3 resistances connected here. So in total, how many elements are there? We have got 2 comparators, 1 flip-flop, so 3. We have 2 transistors, so that makes 5. We have 1 inverter at output stage, so that makes 6, and 3 resistances, so that is total 9 elements are there in the chip. So that is one single integrated circuit. Now the voltages at input of this comparator 1 and comparator 2 is important. Please see, this is connected to supply. So voltage at node B will be R divided by 3R into VCC. So that is 1 by 3 VCC. And voltage at node A is nothing but 2R divided by 3R into VCC. That is 2 by 3 VCC. These two voltages are very important. We will see at later stage. Let us see the function of each pin. Very first pin is ground pin, which is connected to ground, pin number 1. Very last pin is supply pin, which is connected to power supply. Pin number 3 is output pin, where we get the output of the timer. Pin number 4 is the reset key, reset pin, where when you give negative pulse to this, output is reset. How it is reset? Let us see that. When it is given negative pulse, so this Vref will be connected at this point, and this is high. Vref means it is high voltage, and it is inverter circuit, so it is low, output becomes low. So pin number 4 is a reset pin. Now let us see the function of remaining 4 pins on this side. Pin number 7 is connected at the collector of this transistor. So let us see what is going to happen. When voltage at pin number 2 is less than VCC by 3, or voltage at pin number 2 is basically when we apply a triggering signal at pin number 2. Pin number 2 is a triggering signal. So when you apply a negative going trigger such that voltage at inverting terminal of comparator 2 becomes less than voltage at node B, which is 1 by 3 VCC, output of this becomes high. When output of comparator 2 is high, this sets the flip-flop. Sets means Q becomes high, Q bar becomes low. When Q bar is low, you can see when Q bar is low, output of this inverter becomes high. That means output of the timer becomes high. So when you give a negative triggering pulse at pin number 2, output of the timer becomes high. That is what I am trying to say. And now when this is high, this is low, so this will be off. This transistor is used like a switch, so this transistor will be off and pin number 7 will be isolated, right? So that is how it happens. Now let us see pin number 5 and 6. Pin number 5 is basically a control voltage, which is used to control the width of the voltage at output by controlling voltage at node A. When it is not used, when pin number 5 is not used, it is connected to ground. Fine. Now let us see the function of pin number 6. When voltage at pin number 6 becomes more than the voltage at node A, what is the voltage at node A? 2 VCC by 3. So when voltage at pin number 6 becomes more than 2 VCC by 3, the output of comparator 1 becomes high. And when output of comparator 1 is high, this flip-flop is reset. And when this flip-flop is reset means Q becomes low, Q bar becomes high. When output of flip-flop is high, output of the timer becomes low. And when this is high, this transistor is shorted, means it is saturated, and pin number 7 is connected to ground through this transistor Q1. That is the sequence of events. That sequence of events is important for understanding of operation of different waveform generators using 555 timer. We will see that one by one, but that finishes the block diagram, functional block diagram of 555 timer. You should remember this functional block diagram. If you don't remember functional block diagram of 555 timer, it becomes almost impossible to understand the operation of the waveform generators using 555 timer. That is astable multivibrator, monostable multivibrator, and so on. We will see those generators one by one, but that finishes your 555 timer. In next video, I will be talking about the waveform generators using 555 timer, that is applications of 555 timer, which will include astable multivibrator, monostable multivibrator, then Schmitt trigger, and so on. So wait for my next video. Thank you very much for watching the video.